All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. This is Rob here at Smirking Gun Reviews. We're back with more Dark Season 1, Episode 3. It is called Past and Present. So, full spoilers if you've not seen this episode. And just before we get started, I gotta say, for a guy who's only had about 6 hours of sleep in the last 2 days, I am really cranking out the content today. I'm like, holy shit. But I'm really, I've done a whole bunch of stuff today. So this episode, full spoilers if you haven't seen it, I don't really have that much to say, to be honest with you. And it's not because I'm tired. And it's fine. It's a good episode. It's a good episode, but it didn't grab me as much as the first and the second one, especially. It's still good. I do like, but I want to talk just really briefly about a couple of things that I do like, and one of them is the main titles. I think the main titles are excellent. I love the music over it, which leads me to talk about the other thing I wanted to talk about before, or mention, I should say, not talk about, is the score and the music in this. It's really, really phenomenal. Just, it really grabs me, and every time the last, when that credits are coming, like, I really love it. There is some interesting things going on here, and we're progressing through the story, but mostly what we're doing is we're following Mikkel in 1986 as he slowly realizes that, this isn't a joke, he's not dreaming, he's actually there. And I thought it was really, really cool. And anytime you can get Tears for Fears in your, music in your episodes, love Tears for Fears. And we also get to see the younger versions of everybody in the present time. And I also like that they show us who's who comparatively to who they are in the past and who they are, what they look like in the present. Because some of them were a little complicated to me, or I didn't know who was who at times. Because I'm still really bad with the names on this. And again, I'm picking the cave motif because I just feel like it's where everything's happening. It's the center, it's the hub of the weirdness that's going on. And I really like this, and I'm just going to talk about it, that when Mikkel finally, gets taken to the hospital and, and everybody's kind of starting to realize what's up with this kid, especially the nun. And he escapes and he goes back to the cave. At the same time, in the present, Ulrich is in the cave in the present, and he's trying to get down that door where he believes Mikkel was taken. And this, coming from, he lost his brother, now he's lost his son. And so it's really powerful. And when when the kid and him, appear to hear each other across time, that's pretty awesome. That's pretty amazing. And it does, it does keep you want to keep going. But for the most part, I feel like there's probably a lot here that I'm going to understand better in future episodes, like why the cop lady as a kid was collecting all the dead birds. That's just weird. Okay, picking him up is weird too. I mean, I was curious as a kid too, but I think I was more of the poke him with a stick kind of thing. I didn't want to pick him up. I do also want to mention how great the comparison acting, like the actors that they got to play the younger versions of themselves really looked fantastic. They cast some really close looking people, and maybe it's how they do their hair and makeup and stuff, but it was all really well done. I really liked that a lot. I like seeing, how some of those people, like the guy that's like a security guard that was like cleaning up the no future thing that I guess Ulrich must have put there, because he's got the same thing in his room. He's tied to the guy in the office of the nuclear power plant. And another interesting thing there, I know who that actor is, and I was going to look him up, but I can't remember. He's the only recognizable actor that I've seen, and he's like a character actor. I believe he's been in some American movies as well. But he's hiding some shit, big time, because of Chernobyl. That now, the world doesn't trust nuclear energy. And who would? It doesn't matter if it happened in Russia. I mean, I'm sure that people in, American nuclear physicists and people that work at them were like, well, we're not Russia, we're not going to let that happen to us here. But I mean, I'm sure they thought that in Russia, and I'm sure that they were thinking that in Germany. I mean, everybody, has these plants now. You can't just turn them off. And so in their desperation to, keep going, they're covering up some pretty heinous shit, it sounds like. And when the lady finds the toxic waste, well, yeah, that's pretty messed up. I also like that the guy that was the security guard is he, I'm not sure who he is in the present. But he gave her the book, The Journey Through Time, which I feel like the book again, and I'm sorry, I'm trying not to over speculate things, but I feel like that book has got to be super important. And maybe it was written by the guy who shows up at the very end, who was in the videos, the video that guy was watching in the room with the experiment going on. That was the same guy talking about black holes, and he's building that machine. So there's more going on there than meets the eye. And so while I don't feel that this was an overly, blew my mind episode, I do feel like this is probably going to be one of the, looking back, probably was going to be one of the more important episodes because of a bunch of things that aren't important to me now, will be important then. Especially with the way that things are happening again in the present. It's so hard to talk about. How many people have done reviews for this show? I don't know. I haven't looked it up, but the birds falling out of the sky again and everything, it's just nuts. And the girl that's sitting next to Ulrich at the bus stop, that's the girl he's having an affair with, right? In the present. That's, I just like how they're showing how the relationships were back then. I feel bad for that poor kid, man. Can you imagine? I don't know, I don't think they've ever really shown this kind of perspective of time travel. Like a kid just showing up and being like, I'm from the future, and nobody believing you, and you're in your town. You see your father as a teenager, but you don't know where your mom is. And as a kid, you just want your mom. I'll admit it, when I was that age, I wanted my mommy sometimes. Saying it out loud is weird, especially how I feel about my mom. But that's neither here nor there. But I do like how they handled this. And I'm glad that he didn't just run into the cave and it was just resolved, like he just wakes up. No, he's still stuck there. And hurt. And so I'm still really motivated to keep going, but I'm not going to watch any more tonight. Because at some point, I'm going to pass out from exhaustion. It has to happen. I'm not there yet, but because I'm probably going to still do maybe another part of my Uncharted live streaming after this. But anyway, yeah, I just wanted to get one more done because, and I'm not going to do Good Omens either. But anyway, it's still really, really fascinating. It's still really well done. I'm really getting attached to some of these characters now, and I'm really excited to keep it going. So that's it. I know it's not much of a review. I do find it still really awesome. It is one of the more unique time travel stories I've ever seen in my life. I don't know if this is based on anything. If this is an original work, to whoever did this, and if it is based on a book, maybe I'll have to check it out sometime. So anyway. If you liked this review, please hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe, all that jazz. Otherwise, this is Robert Smirking Gun Reviews saying have a great day, and we will see you on the next video.